story to tell. The Iranian Air Force was once a powerful force throughout the Middle East. However, war and decades of embargo have made the Iranian Air Force once in a dying situation. What remains of the current Iranian Air Force are aging planes and power in doubt. Iran's air power has been in decline for a long time. Currently, according to the assessment, the Iranian Air Force is only capable of ensuring its airspace security to a minimum, and nearly incapable of fighting regional rivals, not to compare with the US. Before the Iran Islamic Revolution broke out in 1979, Iran was an important US ally in the Middle East and an anti-Soviet outpost. Therefore, Iran has been surrounded by the US for many modern weapons, especially fighters. Iran has purchased a large number of US military aircraft, including 179 F-5AB Freedom and F-5EF Tiger fighters, 225 F-4DE and F-4 Phantom II fighters, 56 C-130 Hercules transport aircraft, 6 B-3 Orion maritime patrol aircraft, and 6 KC-135 Stratotanker area refueling aircraft. In particular, Iran has been surrounded by the US to 80 F-14A Tomcat fighters and AIM-54 Phoenix super long-range missiles. Iran was the only foreign customer sold by the United States to the F-14. 77 of the 80 F-14s were delivered to Iran before the Islamic Revolution. The Iran-Iraq War from 1980 to 1988 took a lot of the power of the Iranian Air Force. The chaos and poor relationship of the new regime made the Iranian Air Force never able to dominate the skies throughout the war. At the same time, the US embargo has caused the Iranian aircraft to lack parts, further limiting the Iranian Air Force capabilities. By 1973, 5 years after the Iran-Iraq War ended, the Iranian Air Force has been reduced to just 15,000 people, a quarter of 1976. Only 60 out of 225 F-4 Phantom IIs and 60 out of 179 F-5s were still in service. The rest were either shot down, dropped by accident, or removed for spare parts. At that time, only Iran's F-14 squadron was still in good service, with 60 of the 77 aircraft still flying. The transport squadron was only 20 of the 56 C-130 Hercules. Iran had to rely on the Soviet Union. In 1990, Iran bought 20 Su-24 Fencer strike aircraft and 30 MiG-29 Fulcrum fighters from the Soviet Union. The Iranian Air Force also received 25 Chinese J-7 fighters, a replica of the MiG-21. They also received a small number of Iraqi Air Force aircraft, which flew to Iran during the 1991 Gulf War. But the new purchases and the number of Iraqi aircraft were not enough to cover the wartime damage. Tehran's hostility towards the West and its controversial nuclear program continue to make Iran a sanctioned country. According to Fly International, the core of the Iranian Air Force remains the same as before, including 42 F-4 Phantom IIs, 24 F-5 fighters, 20 MiG-29s, 17 J-7, 23 Su-24s, and 9 Iraqi Mirage F-1s. Despite their aging, Iranian Air Force fighters were still deployed in the fight against ISIS. Iran's F-14 fighters escorted Russian Air Force bombers, hitting targets in Syria. Iran's F-5 Tigers, F-4 Phantom, and Su-24 Fencers have also launched airstrikes against ISIS. Due to their age, Iranian Air Force fighter crashes occur frequently. In 2016 alone, an F-4, 1 J-7, 1 Su-24, and 1 MiG-29 crashed. If there is a confrontation with the US Air Force, these air fighters will be very easy to shoot down. Iran tried to build a domestic military aviation industry, but the results were disappointing. In 2007, Iran introduced the Jet fighter, a copy of the F-5 Tiger. It was advertised in the Iranian press as harder to detect by radar than the normal version due to its higher maneuverability. In 2013, Iran introduced a prototype of the Kahar 313 stealth fighter. It was so small that the pilot's knee could be seen in the cockpit. Another version announced in 2017 was larger in size, but many people still have doubts about the design's reliability. The lifting of the United Nations arms embargo on Iran in October 2020 is an opportunity for Iran to modernize its air force. However, Iran's only hope is Russia, because Western countries, especially the US, still unilaterally apply arms embargo against this country. My video about Iranian Air Force after 4 decades of embargo ends here. Thank you for watching. If you find this video interesting, please give me your thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to support the channel. Goodbye and see you again in the next videos.